The Ribble Valley. Popular with tourists for its natural unspoilt beauty, much of which lies within the Forest of Bowland. Known as the food heaven capital of the north, but I'm not just here for the food. I'm here for the fells. Join me for the next 5 days as I explore the Ribble Valley, in collaboration with Holgate's Ribble Valley Holiday Park. Back in March 23, I had the pleasure of experiencing a midweek stay in the Ribble Valley, based from Holgate's Ribble Valley Holiday Park. This was my first time with Holgate's, keeping in one of their pet-friendly holiday homes for 4 nights. There's so many great walks in the Ribble Valley, plenty of cafes and pubs to choose from, all of which are dotted among the many quaint towns and villages I'd yet to visit. The best part, Holgate's Ribble Valley is perfectly located for them all. Even though I only live 30 minutes or so from the area, in all honesty I hadn't explored much of the valley up to this point. 1 or 2 of the more popular walks such as Pendle Hill and the Tolkien Trail, but that was about it. Here's what I had planned for my week in the Ribble Valley. Day 1 was a hike up Weets Hill, followed by some pub grub. Day 2, attend a local event in Clitheroe, followed by the beer hall at Bowland Brewery. Day 3, either a hike up Pendle Hill or a woodland hike through Gisborne Forest up to Whelpstone Crag. Day 4, road trip, visiting several towns and villages in the Ribble Valley. Day 5, Ribblesdale Park for breakfast, a short walk around the estate before heading home. So the first hike on the agenda was Weets Hill. Weets Hill isn't too challenging of a hike, with the route I mapped out joining parts of the Pendle Way. Of course there were a few boggy sections, but you've got to expect that on the fells. Compared to the more popular walks nearby, Pendle Hill and Longridge Fell, this is a relatively quiet place to walk. Perfect for those who prefer a peaceful day's walking with less crowds at the weekend. The views from the summit here are pretty special, and there's a conveniently placed bench for a well-earned sit down to take it all in. Also on my recommended route up here, look out for the strange big-headed statue nearby. It's got to be worth a quick selfie, right? After this hike back in Blacko, there's a lovely cafe called Hamish's that you must visit. After a few hours relaxing back at Holgate's, I decided to head back out for my evening meal at the Calf's Head pub in Worston. The pub is around 10 minutes from the holiday park, and I really enjoyed my dining experience here. They provided superb service, the burger I chose was delicious, they served up lots of local beers on tap as well. Day 2, and unfortunately weather-wise it was a write-off. Luckily I'd planned to attend a local tourism event in Clitheroe, organised through the Forest of Bowland. The event was all about sustainable tourism, and it was great to see how businesses are trying to improve their practices as a whole. The symposium, held at Holmes Mill, attracted speakers and attendees from all over the UK. There was a free lunch for all those who attended, but the real meat of the day was provided by the inspirational speakers on stage, as well as several local business owners I'm friendly with having their say too. And at the end there was a long list of Green Tourism Awards given out to those who had made their business operations more sustainable in 2023. If you'd like to learn more about the event, I'll leave a link to a short write-up created by a local PR firm who attended on the day. In the evening I popped next door to the Bowland Brewery beer hall, sampled a couple of their fantastic beers from the collection, and demolished some American style food from their menu. Here's to hoping for finer weather on day 3. Day 3. Windy, foggy, with a spot of rain. Not ideal conditions for the Pendle Hill walk unfortunately, so I decided to tackle a less exposed walk through Gisborne Forest, towards another summit trig point known as Whelpstone Crag. For my route I opted to start from the village of Tosside. There's a small free car park there, ideal compared to the pricey paid for parking down in Gisborne Forest itself. Also, by starting from over this way, I knew I'd likely miss most of the mountain bikers, who you'll often see flying down through the bike trails. I planned a route that was going to take me up to the top following public footpaths, cutting up through the forest tracks, but after a good hour or so battling through dense woodland and bog, trying to follow no clear and obvious footpaths, my advice here would be to simply stick to the main track, which takes you further out and round through the woods en route to Whelpstone Crag. Note, on the day I visited, the summit was full of sheep, who were very curious of my presence, Dogs on leads for this part of the walk, I'd say. The rain started to fall as I made it up to the trig, but I quickly risked flying the drone anyway. Sod it. The route back, again it's up to you. I decided to wade through more bog, following slightly better public footpaths. They were clearly marked out tracks, but full of deep puddles unfortunately. You could return back along the main track you came for a simple walk here, but I'll leave my recommended route to Whelpstone Crag, starting from Tosside, in the description below. Meanwhile, back at the holiday park after a tough time in the forest, I welcomed a couple of late arrivals to the accommodation, my partner Laura and our dog Henry. Day 4. Unfortunately, the rain continued over the Ribble Valley, but it didn't stop us from planning a mini road trip. After a lazy morning, taking the dog out for his morning doodads, followed by a spot of reading relaxing in the holiday home, we decided to venture out on a little adventure in the car. The plan was to explore some of the local villages we'd not been to before, and stop off at one or two cafes along the way. First stop was Hamish's Cafe. I told you I'd be back to tell you more about these guys. We went here for lunch and it's dog friendly, so no problems with Henry joining us. Their hot drinks were top notch, and the food? Oh my. We chose 2 internationally inspired dishes and they did not disappoint. I'd certainly recommend calling in at Hamish's after a walk up Weets Hill, or if you're simply in the area. A fantastic dining experience. Next, we dropped down into Blackcove, stopping outside Pendle Heritage Centre Museum. What a beautiful building this is. After Blackcove, we headed for the village of Downham, passing Black Moss reservoirs en route. Pendle Road through from Blackcove to Downham is incredible. We just wanted to stop every few metres to take pictures. However, Downham itself takes the prize. Known for being in the movie Whistle Down the Wind and the TV series Born and Bred. There's not that much here in this pretty little village, but for its stunning church and the newly reopened Ashton Arms pub as of early 2023. The village is an ideal starting point for an alternative walk up Pendle Hill, with free parking and toilet facilities available to its visitors. You can find a link to a recommended Pendle Hill route starting from Downham in the description below. Okay, next stop on the day was Sawley, where there's an old heritage site worth checking out, Sawley Abbey. Fenced off during our visit, likely due to its frail structure, there's still plenty to discover from a quick visit here, walking around the ruin, reading all about its history. After passing through the beautiful village of Sawley, we eventually arrived at our next stop-off point, Holden Clough Nurseries. They have a lovely garden centre and gift shop, and after a good browse, we stopped for a brew in their superb cafe, known as the Reading Room Kitchen. Honestly, not many cafes tend to wow me upon entry, but this has to be one of them. Holden Clough Nurseries is located in Bolton by Bowland, a real hidden gem of a village, known to foodies for its pub, the Coach and Horses, which offer an AA Rosette dining experience. Overall, we took our time enjoying the drive, before eventually heading back to the holiday park. Day 5, our last day at Holgates. After 4 fun-filled days, it was time to finally leave the holiday park. We wanted to make this last day a memorable one, with plans to explore the neighbouring Gisburn estate, also known as Ribblesdale Park. First things first, a quick brew before heading out to the dog field. We met the most friendly of dogs on the last day. It was nice watching them all playing together, running around in such a wide but secure space. After handing in our keys mid-morning, saying our goodbyes to the friendly staff on site, we hopped in the car for a short journey over to Ribblesdale Park. There's a really nice restaurant at the centre of the park called Hindalini's. We had already eyed up their mouth-watering lunch menu online. Here's what we ordered. It was also Henry's lucky day, with a member of staff falling for his waggy tail, offering him a free puppuccino for being such a good lad. Hindalini's is dog friendly, in case you hadn't realised. After a latte or two and Henry's whipped cream fix, we decided to have a wander around parts of their vast 1,000-acre estate. Before long, we found a small herd of grazing sika deer. Seeing them during our stay with Holgates was high on my list of things to do in the area. Mission accomplished. As we continued through parts of the estate, we passed the historic building of Gisborne Park Hospital. We also decided to venture down a track leading to an unexpected spot with a stunning bridge and hidden lodge. This was one of the estate's star attractions, a wedding venue like something you'd imagine in fairy tales. The walk we did around the estate was no more than a mile, but there's plenty to see. And there you have it, time to head home. Even though Holgate is only around 40 minutes from where I live, it was really nice to get away for 4 nights, tucked away in a secluded part of the Ribble Valley. The walks, cafes, towns and villages surrounding Holgate's Ribble Valley, for me, make this an ideal base for hikers. If you'd like to learn more about Holgate's Ribble Valley, as well as their other holiday parks across Lancashire, visit www.holgates.co.uk. Thanks again to Holgates for gifting me a stay in one of their lovely dog-friendly holiday homes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next adventure.